It's gonna be a tough one, but we're gonna do it. Mehdi Taremi signs for Olympiacos. Let's talk about it. So in today's video, we're gonna talk about Mehdi Taremi joining Olympiacos, the good, the bad, and my thoughts on it. And if you're a big fan of Asian football, but more specifically the Iranian national team, this is the channel that you need to be at, so make sure to subscribe. And before we jump into the video, guys, make sure to smash the like button on it. The transfer fee that Inter will be receiving from Olympiacos for Mehdi Taremi is around 2.5 million euros, and he signs a 2-year contract. Positive number one, and it is by far the biggest positive of all the positives. He is playing for a Champions League club. Not one of the favorites in the Champions League, and you could consider them a minnow in the Champions League, but still a Champions League team nonetheless. I'll throw up on the screen right now what teams Olympiacos will be facing off against in their Champions League phase fixtures, and there are a couple of very juicy opponents on there, and one in particular that stands out to me is Real Madrid. Then for my other positive is he is playing in a much easier league. Compared to the Serie A, the Greek league is much easier. So we should be expecting a lot better production, him getting back on the goal scoring charts to help build his confidence going into this upcoming World Cup. That is something that's not really spoken about much when it comes to this whole transfer saga for Mehdi Taremi. We mustn't forget the World Cup is less than a year away, and most likely and realistically, Mehdi Taremi is probably going to be Iran's main guy going into that World Cup. So he needed to go to a team that he could bag goals, gain his confidence, and still be playing at a relatively high level going into that tournament. And I think Olympiacos kind of checked all those boxes for him, because we could all tell his confidence was so shot at the end with Inter. I mean, only scoring 3 goals across all of last season. I understand he got a plethora of assists, and it really wasn't as bad as the stats made it look out to be, but a striker needs to score goals. That's their bread and butter. And you can tell his confidence was very much hit after that season. So him going to a lesser league, maybe similar to the same par as the Portuguese league, but I would still say the Greek league is still a little bit under that. He can hopefully get back to double-digit goals, and we can see him play with that flair and goal-scoring instinct that he once had when he was playing at FC Porto. Now for the negatives. This is probably going to be the little bit of the longer of the two lists. Segueing on from the positive that I said, that he's playing in a much easier league, my first negative is going to be he is playing in the Greek league. From playing from Serie A to the Greek league, that is a huge drop off. And that is something that is very disappointing to see. Him being part of a Champions League finalist team to, yes, Olympiacos, that are a very historic and high pedigree club in Greek football. You can't deny that that is very disappointing to see. And the thing is, I would allow him making this type of move if he was for sure going to be one of the guaranteed starters. But this goes on to my next negative. I don't even think he's a guaranteed first or second choice striker at Olympiacos. That was the only pass I was willing to give him if he wanted to join a team like PSV or Olympiacos, which he is going to be playing for, is that, hey, he's going to most likely be the main guy, so he'll be bagging in a lot of goals, getting significant minutes. But at Olympiacos, El Khabi is their main guy. He's been bagging in 25 plus goals for the past 2 seasons at Olympiacos, and we mustn't forget as well, they have Yarmolenchuk. So those are 2 strikers that he's going to have to compete against in a team that only plays with a 1-striker formation. So that's the part where I'm like, where did the logic come in that he thought this was one of his better choices? Like, at least if he joined PSV, he only would have had to compete against Ricardo Pepi, which I think he is a little bit more on a downward slope since his very serious injury that he suffered, I think a year or so ago. Even though I don't think that move is any better, I think at least in regards to a play time, being a consistent starter for a Champions League minnow team, PSV might have been a better suitable team for him. And that leads on to my final negative. He hasn't played in so long. The last time Mehdi Taremi got some minutes in training under his belt was back in Iran's last 2 World Cup qualification matches. After that, he got stuck in Iran, then got exiled from Inter's team. He didn't train with them during preseason, but he is out of form right now. And he's made this signing so late, literally on transfer deadline day, after there's already been a few games played in the Greek league for Olympiacos. He's not well acclimated to the team. He's not at 100% fitness. And it makes me a little bit worried that he might have to rush himself. He's got to force himself to play. And maybe when he's not 100% match fit or at 100% sharpness, he's going to throw himself in the limelight. Because he kind of did that at Inter, and it backfired for him a bit last season. And that's what I'm worried about here. I don't want him to rush himself, but the season has already started. The longer and longer you wait, where El Kabi and Yermanchuk are going to keep bagging goals, the less likely Mehdi Taremi is to get consistent minutes at Olympiacos. It's a really tits up situation that he's in. Because he's left this transfer so late, he's going to be the striker looking from the outside in. I know it's a big bonus for Olympiacos to get a striker that is proven in the Champions League, and I think that was their thought process in bringing him in. But for Iranian football fans like ourselves, we want to see Taremi be the consistent starter. We want to see him bag goals, be the main guy for this team. And it's not a great look if your best player on your national team makes this step down in his career, but yet isn't even a main starter, isn't even bagging goals. So that would be my final negative on the transfer. But my overall thoughts, and you guys got to let me know in the comments down below, what are your guys' overall thoughts on Mehdi Taremi joining Olympiacos. It is disappointing and it is a little bit sad to see him going from a Champions League finalist team in Inter to Olympiacos, especially with all the rumors that were circulating this summer for him from the Premier League, Serie, Liga. But I will say this, it is not like Azmoun Shabab Al-Ali disappointing. Now that shit had me in a depression after, but it does feel like there was a lot left on the table for him. I felt he could have made a better move. Around the time this deal was being reported that it most likely could happen, Fabrizio as well did post that Lyon were heavily interested in Mehdi Taremi. And I felt outside of the Premier League interest, that was the best option for him. Lyon are a team that are on the rebuild and are a very historic team in France, and as well are playing in the Europa League, and as well are a team that plays in the top 5 leagues in Europe. I felt that was the best option if there was actual serious interest in him. And if Fabrizio was tweeting about it, there was most definitely something there. And even though I didn't prefer the move to PSV or Olympiacos either way, out of the two clubs, I would have maybe preferred the PSV move, because as I said earlier, he would have been likely their main striker going into this season. But overall though, from me speaking from the heart, I am a little bit sad to see how things didn't pan out well for Taremi at Inter, because he was like the king of the world at FC Porto. He was bagging goals, he was the leading goal scorer, he even won a golden boot with them. The world was at his feet and he chose to go to Inter, which I was a little bit skeptical about, but I still wasn't upset at all about the move. It was still a huge moment for Iranian football, but it was just how things didn't pan out well at all, and it was just a huge cloud of unluckiness for him to go from that Champions League finalist team, a team that would be a favorite to win Serie, to going to now Olympiacos just in that 1 year span. How life hits you so quickly. I can't deny it is sad to see. But to wrap it all up with my silver lining, we mustn't forget it's a World Cup year. So the key for Taremi is to build his confidence going into the World Cup. We all know after last season, his confidence was absolutely shot. So with him joining Olympiacos, taking that step down, he should be able to build his confidence at a lesser league that will actually praise him as one of their top players, not being the small minnow in a big pond, but being the big minnow in a small pond. And hopefully he can bag himself double-digit goals, because he hasn't been able to do that now for over a year. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he can dismantle El Kabi as the main striker for Olympiacos. That would be a huge W in my opinion, and get back to his goal scoring ways, because at the end of the day, for a striker, goals are what matter. And for all Olympiacos fans that may be watching, this is a very exciting transfer for you all. This is going to be a striker that will most definitely help you all in your Champions League campaign. And who knows, maybe Olympiacos have a dark horse run thanks to Taremi. All I know for sure is I'm gonna be rooting for Olympiacos throughout this Champions League run. They are my team now. So hopefully he goes out there, plays against Barcelona, pockets Lamine Yamal again, scores a banger against Real Madrid, goes to London and absolutely poops on Arsenal, and life is back to normalcy. But boys and girls, my opinion only matters so much. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Again, if you are new to the channel and you're a big fan of Asian football, but more specifically the Iranian national team, this is the channel that you need to be at, so make sure to subscribe. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this video next, and click over here as I post content weekly and you don't want to miss it. But boys and girls, I hope you'll have a lovely day.